Working. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 21st Town of Monroe Board meeting. Can we please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one God. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting. We'll start out with can I get a motion to open up this evening's meeting?
Who will make that motion?
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Who, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Councilman Scancarello, this is a busy week in his business, so he said if he does get here, he will be late. But there's a good chance he won't be here, so I'll do the recap of the Town of Monroe Food Truck Festival. Unbelievable, spectacular. It was overwhelming. We had 2,159 people we transported from the dial-a-bus, from the parking lot to the location. I think we had a little over 1,800 that we brought back, but based on the meal tickets from all the food trucks and vendors that were there, we estimated probably close to 6,000 people were in attendance. We did have the problem on Arico Terrace at one point. State Police asked us to make an announcement. We cleared it. We had the issue with people parking down County Route 105 on the right, just after our barricades. Yeah. And then we had a little bit more of an issue later on in Arico, but it was so late, there was a half an hour left in the evening, so we ended up basically ignoring it. So I apologize to those residents on Arico Terrace. We will do a better job next time, making sure there's no parking signs put up there. Highway did a spectacular job, thank you. Highway Superintendent Patterson, you and your staff were enormous in the success of it. I know you guys were there probably 3 or 4 days before it, clearing, setting up, taking down. And I mean, Anne-Marie Morris and Jen just did an unbelievable job in making sure everything went smooth. So thank you all. I know Mary was there. I know Dory was there, Councilman McGinn.
Yeah. And supervisor, the dial-a-bus people were instrumental.
Well,
they did such a wonderful job bringing people to and from.
Yeah, and what was great was Ed was there. He's our new dial-a-bus head bus driver, and he was there filling in for the staff, and Jose came down and volunteered, actually, to help out a little bit when the staff that was driving the buses was on lunch and got their meals. So it was all around. Everybody did a phenomenal job. And the number for the food pantries is going to be somewhere around, each food pantry will get somewhere around $900.
Wow.
So,
oh, that's fantastic.
So it was an awesome day, awesome night. And Anne-Marie's connections with the weatherman
They really paid off.
Once again came through. We were worried on Thursday and Friday. So, and listen, also, I'd be remiss if I forgot our maintenance staff, Victor and Justin, who Justin was just hired. They were unbelievable from 7 o'clock to about 8 o'clock at night. So everything worked out, and the county and the Office of Tourism, who provided us with a grant for $4,000 to help with new signage, which we got, and some other items, the trailer, and State Police were great, Monroe Police were great. I know I'm leaving somebody out. There were so many people that contributed. If anybody remembers anybody, shout it out.
Sheriff's Office.
Sheriff's Office, yeah, Sheriff's Office did a great.
MOVAC.
Yep, Monroe Volunteer Ambulance. Sheriff's Office did a great.
The fire department.
Yep, fire district.
Fire police.
Fire police.
Yep. Sheriff's Office had a canine demonstration, which was about 20 minutes, which was, it was good. It was good for the
Kids
kids.
absolutely loved that
Yeah.
canine demonstration.
Yeah. And next time, I'd like to do it with Melissa Burke and Keen from Monroe. So it would just, I was so elated, and as everybody else who was in attendance, it was just great. So now we're on to what we do in the fall. So we'll come up with a date and get that squared away in the next month or so. Okay, so the Independence Day celebration, that's going to be going on in the village. That's going to happen on July 2nd from 5 p.m. when the food vendors arrive to 7 p.m. The Mighty Spectrum Band will be there, and fireworks will begin sometime after 9 once dusk hits. So today's the longest day of the year, so everything gets shorter from here on in. That event is sponsored by the Village of Monroe, Village of Harriman, and the Town of Monroe, and they also got Orange and Rockland Utilities and Walmart to help sponsor. So another good event coming up. Okay. On to public hearings. I need a motion to open up the public hearing for local law H-V1 of 2022 to amend Chapter 57 concerning the regulations governing tree preservation.
Bingham will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Who will second?
Okay, call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Who will I?
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay, thank you very much.
No public comment?
No public comment. Hey, listen, before I forget, while we're in there, we had two sponsors at our food truck festival, MHE Engineering and Brian Nugent's firm sponsored us, so thank you guys for doing that. Okay, so we have some comments that we got back from the Conservation Commission regarding the tree code. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read them, but that's exactly where we're at right now. I just lost my comments. Dennis, did you want to speak? Because I know you and I spoke beforehand. Dennis Fordham I haven't, from our Conservation Commission.
Hello, yeah, we're good.
There you go.
Okay, Dennis Fordham, Monroe Conservation Commission. We submitted comments to the board and to the town planner on the 12th of June. He responded, agreeing to some of our comments and requests, some others where he had questions. I counter-responded on the 19th. I'm waiting for his response now. I think we're very close. I was hoping he'd be here tonight. Maybe I'll give him a call tomorrow. Let's try and wrap this up as soon as we can. So that's what I am doing. Questions? There's one big issue.
Attachments 2 and 3. Attachments 1 and 2 or 3?
Oh, no, I'm not worried about those. All through the law, the Monroe Conservation Commission has responsibilities to work with the planning board, with the building inspector to assist and review trees. But a lot of it comes back to what is considered to be a regulated tree. That comes back to the listing of landmark, native, protected, and specimen trees, which we do not have at the moment. This was in the earlier code as well. We, the Monroe Conservation Commission, are supposed to put this together. We're going to attempt to do this, but we're going to need a lot of help, and I'm not quite sure where that help is going to come from right now. I guess I should put together some sort of proposal.
What about the arborist? Wouldn't he be able to?
And the arborist certainly can help, yes. So I'll be calling on him at greater length. But it is something that we have to do, and I think it's key to us having a successful tree law to establish, really what is a native tree. Not so much, obviously, native and protected trees, specimen trees and landmark trees. We need to go out, and maybe the historian can help us with some of those. But I'm more concerned with, what is a native tree. because any of these trees, regulated trees, over 6 inches in diameter, other than certain conditions, they're all to be carefully looked at with regard to whether they can be taken out and so on. So,
Thank you for your help, Dennis. I know it's a lot of time and effort on it.
as it's taking a look, but it's ongoing. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Can I say one other thing,
Sure.
which I raised last time? We're still in need of another member on the Monroe Conservation Commission. If you could kindly put another notice out on the website,
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Got that, Val?
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
All right, thank you,
you.
Dennis. Appreciate you being here again.
Good. I'm not gonna go. Okay, thank you, folks.
Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Thanks, Dennis.
Okay, anybody else have any comments? Okay, I'll make a motion to keep open the continuation of the public hearing, local law H-V1 of 2022 to amend Chapter 57 zoning concerning regulations governing tree preservation for July 10th at 7 o'clock or immediately thereafter.
I'll second that.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Bull eye.
Cardone, aye.
Again, aye.
Okay. Item 4.3 is a motion to open the continuation of the public hearing in relation to the increase and improvements of facilities of the Water District number 14. I'll make a motion for that.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Aye?
Bull eye.
Cardone, aye.
Again, aye.
Okay.
No public comment?
Councilwoman Bingham, anything?
Basically, we're still trying to get grants, and we had video conference, telephone conference with the EFC and the engineer and Millennium, our grant writers, so we're still working on trying to get some grants. The issue is trying to get enough points to score high enough so that when the agencies decide who's going to get a grant, we score high enough. So it's still a work in process.
What are some of the challenges with scoring points?
Naturally, a city like Middletown, Newburgh has more residents. Health, preserving the health of the residents that live there, so if there's outages, contamination. Again, Newburgh had the PFOAs. Those kind of issues would probably gather more points. So outages, I know when we did it for 12, we gave them a list of all the outages, and when they saw that, that gave us
That
more
gave them-
points. So same thing with these other districts, we're trying to collate all that information.
Yeah, excellent points. I mean, I'll wait till we get to Water District 8 before I comment. Any other comments? Okay,
Supervisor,
yes.
just so the public knows that Water District 14 had 2 leaks in it, 2 water main breaks last week too, so that's the reason why we're really trying to dive into this situation.
Highway guys were out there till 9 o'clock on Friday night. And thank you for going out there and providing them with a couple of pizzas to start their weekend off good.
And what's the age of those lines?
It all varies.
Uh-huh.
It's like a mishmash of sizes, and we can't even tell what's what in there. You have galvanized, you have plastic, you have 3-inch, you have 2-inch, so it's just a big mishmash in there.
I mean, MHE did a study, and we have the approximate cost to replace the main. So that's high on the priority list for it. Yeah. Okay.
I continue it? Keep it open and continue?
That's what I'm thinking.
You want to do it for August?
Yeah,
Since nothing's going to happen before
Yeah.
the next meeting,
Okay,
so.
now in July.
yeah,
I
let's
think
do that.
August may even be too soon because,
What's that?
August may even be too soon because don't some of the grants notifications come out in September?
We want to make it like September 18th then?
Make it September 18th then.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we continue the public hearing until, continue until September 18th at 7 p.m. or shortly thereafter.
Bingham will second.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye?
Bull eye.
Cardone, aye.
Again,
So moved. I'll make a motion to open the continuation of the public hearing in relation to the increase and improvement of facilities of Water District Number 8. Can I get a second? I'll second. Call the
I'll
question.
second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Begin I.
Okay, so moved.
No public comment?
No public comment. So we're basically in the same boat with Water District 8 as we are with 14 regarding grants. One aspect that has been discussed is the connection of Water District 8, 10, Pilati, and Arrow Park, correct, Pat? Yeah. So we did apply, and I know this is kind of like just a little bit outside the box, but we did apply for a grant for Arrow Park. I had conversation with Sean Arnott from MHE, who had a conversation with the DEC in the state, and their feeling is until there's either possession of the Arrow Park District or there's shovels in the ground in Pilati, they don't want to mix things up because there'd be a certain percentage here, a certain percentage there, a certain percentage to somewhere else. So they like to streamline it, and basically the money would be targeted for that district, whatever we name it, once it's combined. So until that's done, I think we're in the same ballpark, so,
One of the things is you would get more points
yes,
when you consolidate, to answer your question earlier.
yeah. And he,
Because it would increase the number of residents who are going to benefit from the money.
Give them a reliable source.
yeah,
Okay.
correct. And he did say that it's a really good project. High up on the priority to receive a grant, so. So that said, I'll make a motion to keep open the continuation of public hearing in relation to the increase of improvement in facilities of Water District Number 8 to September 18th, 2023 at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter.
Pool will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Begin I.
Okay, so moved. I'm going to make a motion, this is item 4.7 on the agenda, to open the public hearing for the Lake Sapphire Drainage District.
I'll second it.
Call the question.
Aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Begin I.
Okay,
No public comment?
no public comment. Anybody here? I thought I saw Tommy walk in. Anything you guys wanted to say? If you do, just come up, state your name, where you live. Good evening, gentlemen. Just speak into the mic.
I'm Rich Hoffman. I live at 98 Brower Road.
Tom Ludington, 79 Brower Road. We're part of the Residents Association of Lake Sapphire. Tony, all we want to say today is that we've had meetings along, kept our entire...
Speak into the mic, please.
From the emergency event, since this happened, we just recently had a meeting, an HOA meeting on 6/4, which is a couple of weeks ago, and, just continue to keep our residents up to speed on it. I think we've delivered everything we need to from the standpoint of all lot owners that would be affected by this, and just, await any instructions from you or requests as far.
Okay. Okay. Brian, did you want to comment on the order?
When the board is ready, we need to do an order after the public hearing, which is not a typical resolution, but similar to the order calling for the public hearing. So if you want to, you can either close or continue and then draft and present that order at whatever date you set.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, let's close it. I was thinking the other way this morning, and then I was like, well, there's really no reason to keep it open. We've had multiple conversations about it. The HOA has been here, so.
Yeah, so if you want to put it on for July for the order after the public hearing, you can adopt that night if you want to put it on that agenda.
All right, sounds good.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, I'll second it. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Begin I.
Okay, so moved. And now, I'll make a motion to place the public hearing, to call the order. Is that the terminology?
You can just place on the agenda order after the public hearing for Lake
Okay.
Sapphire Drainage District.
All right, so placed on the agenda, the order after the public hearing has been closed on July 10th at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter. Councilwoman Bingham seconded. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye?
Good night.
Okay, so we're moving forward,
Great, we appreciate
all right? Thank you, guys. I appreciate your patience.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Okay, item 5.1 is the acceptance of the June 5th, 2023 minutes. I'll make a motion to approve those.
Pool will second.
Any other discussion, changes, corrections, alterations? Nope. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Item 6.1 is the general fund abstract. Just give me a second. Okay, general fund abstract. I'll make a motion that the town board, Town of Monroe, approves the abstract 23-10 of the general fund containing checks 30298 through 30359 totaling $484,373.96. Do I have a second?
Pool will Go ahead.
Bingham will second.
All the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Item 7.1 under new business, Smith Clove Park Youth Activity Camp Employees. So you have a list in front of you. It'll be a blanket resolution for all the employees listed on there. I'm going to make a motion to approve the following individuals on the list from the Park Commission for employment with the Youth Activity Camp at Smith Clove Park for the seasonal period of July 5th, 2023 through August 11th, 2023. All of the candidates have been pre-approved for employment by the Orange County Department of Human Resources. Do I have a second?
Pool will second.
Any discussion? Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Next up, item 7.2 is the approval of Sean Allen for the position of seasonal laborer at Smith Clove Park for the seasonal employment period between June 22nd, 2023 through August 30th, 2023 at an hourly rate of $18 an hour. Sean has been pre-approved for employment by the Orange County Department of Human Resources. I will make that motion.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye.
Good night.
Okay. Item 7.3 is the agreement for the Entrepreneurial Resource Center. Somebody's going to have to make this resolution. I will read it. It's authorizing the supervisor to sign a letter of intent for the Town of Monroe's participation in the Entrepreneurial Resource Center. Good evening. As well as the allocation of $31,000 in ARPA funding in support of the program. This resource center is a collaboration between the Orange County Chamber of Commerce and ETB Solutions, LLC. It is the shared mission of these organizations to commit to the retention of businesses in the community and the county, encouraging their growth and success. This initiative begins with a 10-week, 60-hour success program, entrepreneurial success program. I don't know.
You're having a hard time with
I'm
that
having a hard
word.
time with that tonight.
Let's just call it ETB, so we're not killing ourselves over
yeah,
here. right?
exactly. Okay. Someone would need to make that motion. We discussed this about a month or so
Yeah, I'll
ago.
second that. I was going to second that
Well,
first.
you got to
So
make it.
who
Oh.
will make the motion for the supervisor to sign the agreement?
And I'll second it for discussion. So yes, this organization was before the board back in April, end of March, I guess, and went through the program and what the success rate was of businesses remaining open that participated. And that's what we're looking to do is we have a lot of new businesses that start up in this town but never quite make it. And this organization and the class structure and everything that goes along with it goes a long way to keeping those businesses open and successful, and that's our reason, I guess, as a board and as a town for supporting it with the ARPA funding, which isn't coming out of taxpayers' pockets, so, which is.
And then those businesses also get support from the Orange County Chamber of Commerce for the following year, which I think is a really important thing. You know, they go through the 10-week program and they learn about organizing their business and managing it, but then to get them through that first year, which always seems to be the toughest for a lot of these businesses, so.
There is one thing I don't like. They're going to have 10 seats available, and it's open to Monroe residents first. But if we don't fill those 10 seats, it's going to be open to anybody in the county.
Yeah.
So, are we sure we're going to have 10 businesses in
I
Monroe?
don't know that. I know of 3 that definitely will sign up. I'm going to assume we're gonna in conjunction with the chamber promote it locally, and they're going to keep that closed to anyone outside of Monroe residents. But I mean, it's got to remember, even if there's 2 people from the outside of the county, then basically you have 8 people within Monroe, outside of Monroe. You have 8 people still in Monroe that are benefiting from it. So
Right, and the classes will meet. We can give
they're going to be at the senior
Elbon,
center.
right,
Yeah.
but they'll be meeting in Monroe.
Yes.
So even if they're coming from outside of Monroe, they're still coming to Monroe those nights and potentially maybe, you know, grabbing a cup of coffee or eating dinner or getting a drink or whatever else. Elbon is the ambassador from Monroe to the chamber. We can probably give him a call and see if there's any businesses that he can kind of encourage to join the entrepreneur.
Especially the new businesses, because those are the ones that seem to be hot and heavy to start, and then they fall by the wayside. So, yeah, if somebody would do that, that would be good.
But I understand your concern. We're taking Monroe tax dollars and then potentially sponsoring an outside Monroe business, but I
would
would
too.
love 10 Monroe businesses
All
as
you
well.
businesses out there, listen, take advantage of this.
We'll have Sal get out there, being that he's like the one-man IDA for this
Yeah.
town,
Yeah.
and all the businesses that he's recruited to come in, he can go out there and say, hey, this is a good thing. I think he's already been doing that, so I'm sure he'll continue that, and we'll make sure we fill those 10 seats with 10 businesses here from Monroe.
Do we know when the first class is?
September, I believe.
Okay.
And will they give us a report after saying, you know, we had these 10 businesses, and they'll list them? You know,
Well, yeah,
we'll
they're
get a-
going to be.
We'll get like a monthly
Yeah,
kind of
we'll be in
report?
constant contact with them.
The Orange County Chamber of Commerce has their next breakfast, their July membership breakfast at Woodbury Commons. So if there are any businesses who are kind of wondering what they're all about, July 13th, 7:30 a.m. at Woodbury Commons. And they generally put on a good meeting, so. And that should give, you know, businesses enough time to kind of get to know more about the program if they don't already know it before registering for September.
Good food there, too.
There is good food.
Okay. Call a question?
Bingham, aye.
Well, aye.
Cardone, aye?
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. I think this is going to be great for the businesses in town.
So do I.
I need someone to make a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute the 2023-2024 IMA with Orange County for snow and ice control on certain county roads. This IMA reflects an increase of $150 per mile, and I think it's a little bit under $3,000, the total increase. I think last year was 28 and change, and this year Yeah, I just got this the other day, so I'm sorry. It's about $1,000 because it's almost 6 miles of road we have. So it goes up to $30,004. So.
And that's for Lakes Road?
No, it's for West Monbassia, Harriman Heights, and there's, what's the other small portion? Turnpike?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Okay. Mike, are you going to make that motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion authorizing the supervisor to sign that agreement after review from the town attorney.
Okay, do we have a second?
Bingham will second.
Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye?
Good night.
Okay, so moved. Okay, next one is under old business, item 8.1 is to set the public hearing date for Pilati Village. Mike, did you want to come up? While you're coming up, I'll throw out some thoughts here. So, for full disclosure, Mike has informed me that he has to go to prison from July 7th.
Some might classify it that way.
He has to go to, yes, he's going on vacation from July 7th through like the 25th. So I know I spoke to each of you independently, Sal included, and the thought was, because our attorney can make it the evening of July 6th, that we would set the public hearing for that evening at 7 p.m. Anybody want to throw out some thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, this has been before the planning board for approximately 18 months or somewhere in there, and a lot of work has gone into their review prior to it landing back here or coming back to the town board for us to accept the application as complete and start the public hearing process, which will then lead to whether we decide to land the zoning or not. So I'm being involved with this from the start with the CCR. I'm comfortable that we have everything that we need from Mike here, and I think we're ready to, again, at least from my perspective, I think we're ready to set the public hearing process and start moving forward with going towards, deciding on land. I'll make that motion unless.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
You can make the motion.
I'll make that motion that we set the public hearing for July 6, 2023 at 7 p.m. or shortly thereafter.
I'll second it. Comment? Question?
Bingham, aye.
Pool eye.
Cardone, aye?
Good night.
Okay, so moved.
Thank you very, very much to the town board for your flexibility in helping me with that date. I really appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
You guys too. Thank you very
Take
much.
care. Thank you.
And thank you, sisters, for being here. Appreciate it.
Supervisor, just for clarification, is there not going to be a July 10th meeting? It's going to be July 6th?
The original one's going to be July 6th. We're I'm going to say 99% sure it'll be kept open and continue on July 10th and possibly another meeting. But the initial public hearing is set for July 6th, so that's how it's got to be published.
It's a separate and distinct
meeting.
public hearing.
Yeah.
And again, this is a part of the process of multiple public hearings to get to that point where we feel comfortable on voting on whether we're going to land it or not. So.
And that night will only be the public hearing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
The board needs to
Yeah.
set a typical meeting and notice to the paper in addition to the public hearing notice, because it's still a regular meeting, even though your
Okay.
only topic will be the public hearing.
Okay, so you got to do that too.
One more thing.
Public hearing addresses, unless the town board and town clerk take care of that, for mailings for the public hearing?
No, talking about anyone within 500 feet of the property.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so what you have to do is you have to go to the assessor
Assessor, okay.
give him your tax map numbers, your
Sure.
SBLs, and he will provide you with that list.
Perfect. We'll get on that tomorrow.
All right.
Just double
Thank you.
checking. Thanks again, sorry.
Yep, thank you.
Also Supervisor, that has to be done 10 days prior to the public hearing, the notice.
Notice that they're sending out.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's why he said he's going to get on it tomorrow. So. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye, Sister Michelle.
Night.
Good night. Good night, Tony.
Night.
Take care.
Night, gentlemen.
Good night, gentlemen. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Yes, you too. Okay. Mike, on item 8.2, the town hall fire alarm system. So I don't know if you had a chance to review it. I mean, you know, it's been malfunctioning for quite some time, and we
Yeah, I know, I get the notification every.
yeah, and we just can't get these guys to solve the issue.
You mean cyber technologies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think some of it has to do with the incoming line, which is cable versus fiber, and that's why item 8.3 was left on the agenda. So, but based on the proposals, if you want to maybe give us a report back, just to make sure.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we hold that over to the July 10th meeting then.
Second it. Call the question.
Well, aye.
Own aye.
Again, aye.
Okay, so moved. Thank you. All right, and then Crown Castle Fibers service proposal. They gave us a proposal. Yeah, they came in about a month and a half ago. Basically looking at either $450 or $550 a month. $450 a month is a 60-month term option. $550 is the 36-month term option. I'm willing to go with 36 to give it a shot. And I'm sure if we extended it, we can somehow get that rate reduced, going for the additional 3 years. I'm sorry, additional 2 years. So I'm gonna make that motion to approve the 36-month term option with Crown Castle at $550 per month for the fiber associated with Town Hall, Highway, Dial Bus, and Senior Center. Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Call
Do you know what the lead time is in getting that installed?
Said it that night. I thought it was like 4 to 6 weeks. I'll double.
And then our sense is that once we have that fiber optic system as opposed to the cable internet, it's going to help relieve some of the issues that we're having with the fire alarm system.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm a true believer in that, but it's also going to assist us. So there's times when,
That could have happened before July 10th, before the next meeting, so I don't have to read through all this. No, I'm just kidding.
but, I mean, you go over the highway sometimes, and they're just, they're down for no reason,
I know.
you know? And I mean, there was a couple of weeks ago, you guys were down for like 2 days, right?
Yes, it's more frequent than not that it's down. And it doesn't just affect us, it affects the dial-a-bus, so people can't get through, and also the senior center. We lose everything, internet, phone lines, everything. So I think it'll be a plus to move on to fiber optics.
This agreement would be for only Town Hall?
Only what?
Only for Town Hall?
No, all the,
Or for all of
yeah.
all of them? So Town Hall, the Highway Garage, the Senior Center, and Dial-a-Bus?
Correct. Okay. So I will have Grant get us a contract, and we'll move forward from there.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds like a plan.
So did,
Do we need, you didn't call the question.
okay. That's, he,
He
I made the motion, or he seconded it?
He made the motion.
And I seconded it, right. Go ahead, what were you going to say? Okay. Call a question.
Hingham, aye.
Full aye.
Cardone, aye.
Did I?
Okay, so moved.
Well, we'll get this right eventually.
Yes. All right. 9.1, public comment.
So while I have no one that signed up for public comment, Maureen Richardson is requesting to speak.
Up to the board.
Have a topic?
Trees, the tree code.
Board okay with it?
Okay, with
Still
it?
open, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not open now, but you can choose to allow the comments. You already have continued it, but
yeah.
you can,
Oh,
she can
this is-
request her comments to be
Oh,
submitted.
this is public hearing for the tree code.
I can just speak as a general. You don't have to.
Well, you
put
can
it on
submit
the-
your comments as part of the public hearing. It's just
Okay,
that
if you're
portion
willing to do
closed
that.
tonight.
Yeah, that portion's closed tonight, okay.
So it's going under the public hearing.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's going under just
General.
general comment.
Okay, that's
right,
fine.
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
Maureen.
if you want to write it down and send it to us.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
the issue.
then it would be under the tree code.
I can just explain. Maureen Richardson, Monroe, Harriman Heights Road. Yeah, essentially because you guys kept it open, I'm completely fine. The online document indicated that you guys were looking to kind of close it back in May, and then some conversations with the Conservation Commission made me think that this was going to be like one of the final iterations. So if you could answer, I mean, also Councilwoman Houle had said that you guys are looking to keep it open for as long as it took, essentially, to hear, to make it most reasonable, most sensible, and, service everyone in Monroe who is looking for more preservation. Just as a general comment, in case the planner is still tooling around with this, I think my biggest issue with it is that it just allows 25 trees to be taken down in a calendar year. And I think the prior code had some confusing language about 5 to 6 trees per acre that were regulated. That language was removed. Up to 25 trees in a calendar year to be removed. It doesn't mention anything about lot size that I see now. It doesn't mention anything about clear cutting. It doesn't define clear cutting. If I owned a quarter acre in Monroe that only had, say, 10 large trees on it, and I just wanted to remove all of those, I could just go in and clear cut the entire property, those 10 trees, because it's under the 25 trees per calendar year, under the subjectivity of the preference of the homeowner to design the property for sun preference and aesthetic preference. And I would just ask that if that is the case, if that is how it is written now, that we pay attention to. There are definitions in other codes in other towns that say 33% or more of clearing of a property is defined as clear cutting. So I don't see any clear cutting definitions in the new iterations. I also don't know if fines and fees for violating any of the regulations in the tree code are done at the exact same time as the actual tree code. Like, what are the penalties? Are we looking to, like, we're fining $1,200 a tree beyond like the 25 for free at the planning board level, but what are the penalties if I cut more than I was supposed to? What are the penalties if I do cut down a native tree or dig into the roots in the critical zone when I wasn't supposed to? I would want that to look, punitive, so that no one says, oh, well, the cost versus benefit is that if I violate this ordinance, then it doesn't matter to me, like, I get away with it. So I think basically just redefining what clear cutting is and making sure that if I own smaller parcels, like a half acre, a quarter acre, that it's not going to be the same regulation as a flat 25 in a calendar year. So I cut that in December and then cut another 25 in January. Is that how that works? I wouldn't want it to. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else have any comment?
I would just regarding the tree code questions, right now the Dennis Fordham, the chairman of the Conservation Commission, spoke at the beginning of the meeting, and so he and the planner are going back and forth with knocking back and forth ideas and revisions. So I would definitely what you just spoke about up here, I would definitely get that to Mr. Fordham and let him take that up with the planner. So they can discuss it as they go forward with getting to the final iterations of this
Iteration of it.
law.
And the tree code does have a tree cutting period during the year, so you're not able to cut anytime that you want to cut it. Trees can only be cut down during certain periods, so you wouldn't fall into something where you cut down 25 trees in December and then in January you're able to cut down another 25, because based on what I remembered reading, that would not fall in the
I
tree
believe you're
cutting
correct.
period.
But there was a diameter thing in there, but I'd have to look at it.
There is,
Something about
there
it,
is.
Yeah, so I don't think you could, I think it all depends. So if you have, large old-growth trees, you just can't go, whack 12 of them down, basically, is the way that I understood it. But again, that's being reviewed by the planner and the,
And I believe everything that was said by the previous speaker has been addressed in the tree code.
good. All right.
All right? I'd like to go into executive session to discuss litigation as well as a personnel matter. I'll make a motion to do that.
I'll second it.
Call the question.
Mike?
Full aye.
Cardone, aye.
Again, aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I will make a motion to return to the town's regular meeting for the evening.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Full aye.
Cardone, aye.
And aye.
So moved. We do have a resolution to make, and I will turn it over to council. Mr. Nugent?
Thank you, Supervisor. This concerns a notice of intent to be lead agency received from the Town of Chester Planning Board. So the resolution before this board would be a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign the consent to the Town of Chester Planning Board to be lead agency in the matter of a proposed new wells pump station treatment, associated piping, and replacement of distribution system on Walton Lake parcel 10-10-14.
Okay. I'll make that, no, I can't make that motion. Somebody's going to make that motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the intent to be lead agency resolution.
Full second.
Second. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Full aye.
Cardone, aye.
And aye.
Thank you. So moved. Motion to adjourn.
Who will make that motion?
Second.
What time is it?
38.
8:39.
What'd you say?
I said 8:39.
8:39. Okay.
Okay, and Bingham will
So
second.
moved. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Full aye.
Cardone, aye.
And aye.
Okay. Have a good evening, everyone.